For centuries, I, the Ageless Oracle, have been reborn at the peak of conflict to serve as the voice of the gods and share my visions with the mortals, but to never interfere. I was reborn after the Beastbone years as Taro, a fortune teller traveling with a caravan of gypsies through the ravaged forest of Kaldovar. I foresaw the downfall of Malakan Grim and the opening of the Scar, but I was powerless to stop it. Now I have visions of the destruction of the World Tree, and with full awareness of the doomed future of Newerth, I cannot continue with mere divination. I must join the fight against the Hellborn and tip fate, wavering on the precarious tip of destruction toward life.
Hello and welcome to another Heroes of Newerth Hero Spotlight, featuring Taro, the Ageless Oracle who has seen the doomed fate of Newerth in her visions and will use all of her abilities to change the dire future. Taro is an agility-focused hard carry with the ability to not only put out intense damage, but excels against multiple enemies with her skill set. Taro's first ability is Ricochet. Taro shoots a projectile at a target enemy which explodes on impact, dealing damage as well as applying a tapering slow to an enemy nearby. The damage applied is based on a percentage of Taro's attack damage plus a set physical amount. The bullet then proceeds to bounce to other enemies within a small radius, dealing the same damage to others, and will continue to bounce a set amount of times or until no more enemies are nearby. The AoE explosion effect will only work on the initial target and not on the following bounces. Ricochet also has the ability to crit due to Taro's ultimate if you have charges, which we will go over shortly. As you can see here, the range on Ricochet is fairly long, so be open to using it in situations such as this. Ricochet will prove to be a very effective farming tool for Taro either in the lane or the jungle, especially when they are all nearby due to the initial explosion. Using Ricochet against one enemy will provide the initial damage and slow, but will not do anything further, so be sure to use it wisely. Taro's second ability is Farce Cry. Targeting an enemy, Taro applies a mark which for a short duration allows any attack Taro makes against other enemy units to bounce to the marked target as long as they are within an 800 radius. Farce Cry also prevents Taro from missing the marked target, so uphill attacks and evasions will matter, as well as revealing them during the duration. It will also assist your teammates by giving them and yourself a percentage of armor penetration against marked target. Farce Cry also has the ability to crit due to Taro's ultimate, which once again we will get into shortly. Making a point of who you apply Farce Cry to is of course important, and paying attention to position is a big part of this. Applying Farce Cry to a ranged hero who is remaining further back than their melee teammates will allow Taro to be a great threat with trying not to put herself in harm's way. Farce Cry is also a very effective harassing tool in the laning phase. Applying the debuff to a hero and then simply attacking the creep will put out great damage on an enemy hero and be difficult to deal with. Another big key to Farce Cry is the fact that attack modifiers will also bounce to the marked target. So for example, if Taro has a shield breaker and applies Farce Cry to Puppet Master, then proceeds to attack the Armadon, both enemies will be affected by the shield breaker debuff. One last thing to keep in mind with Farce Cry is that it is still very useful in situations where there is only one enemy hero around. This is because of the percentage armor penetration that Taro and her teammates receive, thus using Farce Cry on a tanky target in a team fight is viable as well. Taro's third ability is Bound by Fate. Targeting an enemy unit, Taro tethers selected enemy with another nearby enemy for a duration. If the two tethered units get more than 700 units apart, the tether will snap. Once it snaps, the units are pulled back together and are stunned for a short duration, as well as being dealt magic damage. Bound by Fate, like most crowd control abilities, can of course be used offensively or defensively, depending on the situation. Bound by Fate can work on both heroes and enemy creeps, so keeping this in mind is crucial, especially in the laning phase. As you see here, Taro uses her Bound by Fate to keep Devo and Scout from escaping, and ultimately kills both. Trying to use Bound by Fate on an enemy hero while no other enemy unit is nearby will in the end do nothing, so refrain from panicking and using this ability in these situations. Taro's ultimate is Luck of the Draw. Luck of the Draw is a passive ability that also synergizes with a couple of her other skills, as we just talked about. Luck of the Draw grants Taro a 20% crit chance on her auto attacks with a crit multiplier depending on the level of the ability and the amount of charges. These said charges are gained when Taro kills an enemy hero or an enemy hero dies nearby. The charges will then increase the critical multiplier of Luck of the Draw up to a maximum of 60 charges or 4 times crit multiplier. When Taro crits, she gains attack speed as well as movement speed for a 2-second duration. Taro also has a somewhat unique concept that she starts with a level 1 Luck of the Draw from the beginning. However, this is only so she can earn charges to increase its impact later on. There will be no benefit for Luck of the Draw until it is leveled further. Now, as I said earlier, Luck of the Draw also synergizes with a couple of her other abilities. It will also give Ricochet a chance to crit on its bounces, as well as increase the crit chance of the target that has the Farce Cry debuff by 12%. I'm sure by now that at least several of you watching this are wondering if the ability stacks with Rift Shards. Simply put, it does not. Now let's take a look at how these abilities synergize together and some scenarios involving Taro. As Legionnaire jumps in to initiate, Taro immediately goes to follow up with Ricochet and quickly bursts down Swiftblade. Taro then applies Farce Cry to Plague Rider and follows up with the Bound by Fate, then proceeds to auto-attack Tundra with the attacks bouncing to Plague. This is a great show of how impactful Taro can be with multiple foes around. This next fight shows another great power of Farce Cry. As Taro enters the fight, she applies Farce Cry to Draconis on the hill, followed by Ricochet, and then continues with auto attacks that cannot miss as a result of Farce Cry. With the help of crits from her Luck of the Draw ability, Taro continues to kill the enemies until the end of the fight. Here you can see how Taro shines, especially in 1v2 situations. Opening with Farce Cry on a Luna, Taro immediately throws out Bound by Fate. As the enemies attempt to flee, they get pulled back and stunned, and Taro uses Ricochet at high impact due to them being close and finishes the job. Lastly, here you can see great potential of how much damage Taro can do. Seeing the other team doing Kongor, Taro and her team collapse, applying Farce Cry to Devour mainly to give armor penetration against him, then throwing out Ricochet and just simply auto-attacking. Crits from Luck of the Draw follow, and well, Taro picks up an annihilation. Taro is as good of a carry as they come, especially when it comes to taking advantage of proc-based items due to her Farce Cry. As a result, looking to pick up items such as Thunderclaw and a Charged Hammer, Shield Breaker, and Savage Mace can be extra powerful. To really reach those big crits, Assassin Shroud into Genjiro is also a fun and useful option. Thank you for watching this Hero Spotlight featuring Taro. Be sure to check out Taro and her other avatars, as well as her attempt to change fate next patch.